Good morning and happy Monday. Welcome to the beginning of week 3 of online learning. I am so proud of you guys. You are going to do great this week. Just make sure that you have all the materials you need. I sent an email to your parents this weekend about all of the things that you would need to get started this week. So double check that you have a reading packet, a math packet, a science packet, your journal, Lenten journey reflection packet, and then, of course, all of your workbooks, a pencil, and a smile. Have a great day, and please let me know if you have any questions. I will see you at 10 a.m. for our science Zoom. Bye, guys. Hi, boys and girls, and welcome to Math on Monday. We are continuing measurement. But we are doing a different type of measurement. So far, here's what we have done. We have done time. So we are measuring minutes, hours, and how long it takes to do something. We have measured length. So how long is something? My ruler. We have also measured capacity, volume. So here's my water bottle and how much water or liquid is inside. And now the very last one we are going to do today and tomorrow and Wednesday is called weight or mass. So some of these have two names because we're doing US customary measurements as well as metric. So this is, I have my scale here. How many pounds is it? Here's my scale. So if I put, say, an apple in here, how many pounds is it? Okay, so we are doing mass and weight this week. So here we go. Let me share my screen with you. Okay, so we are talking about weight, which is how heavy or light something is. So here's that scale that I drew, and we put some sunglasses, and how heavy are them? How much weight is it? We are used to hearing pounds, but there's a couple different things that measurements that we use to measure. So first we have ounces, which is about the weight of one slice of bread. So if you're gonna make some toast, you pull out a piece of bread, you're gonna make a sandwich, one piece of bread is about 1 ounce. Then we have pounds, which is probably the one you are most familiar with hearing. And it's about the weight of one loaf of bread, which is, so 1 pound, that's 16 ounces, guys. So 16 pieces of bread is about a loaf, and that's about 1 pound. And then we jump all the way to tons. So 2,000 pounds equals 1 ton. And that's about the weight of a polar bear. So let's do some practice here. We've got some objects here. Here is an apple. Would I use ounces? Would I use pieces of bread to measure? Would I use pounds, which are loaves of bread? Or would I use polar bears, tons, to measure an apple? I want you to think about that. What about a pencil? Would I use a piece of bread, a loaf of bread, or a polar bear? How about a cat? Piece of bread, loaf of bread, or a polar bear? And what about a bed? Piece of bread, loaf of bread, or a polar bear? If you want to practice more of these, go ahead and pause. But I'm going to flip back and I'm going to show you what we're going to do today. Okay, so we are, like I said, practicing weight or mass, how much things weigh. So you have your workbook out, and then hopefully mom and dad were able to print off your math checklist so that you are able to do this by yourself this week and kind of keep track of what you need to do. So starting on Monday, we're going to start on page 197 and 198. So customary units of weight. Customary just means what we use in the United States. If you go to the grocery store, how many ounces of parsley, how many pounds of apples. You're going to hear these particular weight measurements when you go to the grocery store. If I were to go to Australia, I would not hear ounces and pounds, and you'll learn tomorrow what I would hear if I went to the grocery store in Australia. Okay, so like we said, 1 ounce, the abbreviation is OZ. 1 ounce is about a loaf of bread. And if I had 5 loaves of bread, that's about a baseball, okay? 1 pound or 16 ounces is about the weight of a soccer ball or 1 loaf of bread, however you want to remember it. The loaf of bread or a soccer ball. Remember, it's 16 ounces. And then 10 pounds or 10 soccer balls is about the weight of a bowling ball. Okay, so I want you to remember those things as we're going through and estimating. So circle the letter of the best estimate. We have a bunch of grapes, not just 1 grape, but a bunch. Do you think a bunch is about the weight of a piece of bread, or do you think a bunch is about the weight of a soccer ball? I want you to think about that. Grapes have a lot of juice in them. That looks like a lot of grapes there. Is it light and airy like a piece of bread, or is it about a loaf of bread? I would think probably more so a loaf or a soccer ball there. Okay, then this is the baseball rule book. Okay, do you think it is 6 ounces, 6 loaves of bread, or do you think it is 6 pounds? A baby. 1 pound or 10 pounds? A baseball bat, a baseball glove, and a stopwatch. So you go ahead and practice those on your own. Then it says estimate the weight of each object, draw a line to match. So I'm going to draw a line to the ones that I think match. So a baseball coach. Do I think a baseball coach is 1 pound or the weight of a soccer ball? Do I think use 40 soccer balls? 150 soccer balls? A bowling ball? Or just 2 slices of bread? I'm going to help you out with this one. A baseball coach is about 150 pounds. If you're going through and you're thinking, I don't actually know what a sweatsuit would be. That would be like a sweatshirt, sweatpants. Which one? I'm not sure. So I'm going to go down to socks. That's probably the least heavy thing on here. Which one do I think it is? And then go through the ones you do know, and that'll help you figure out the ones you don't know. On the back here, same thing. How much does 3 apples weigh? 1 ounce or 1 pound? A basketball, a boy, a watermelon, a baseball, a hat, sneakers, and a health bar. Then you're ordering from lightest to heaviest. So out of a baseball, a soccer ball, and a golf ball, which one weighs the least, all the way to which one weighs the most. And then you're going to compare greater than, less than, or equal to 18 ounces or 1 pound. Oh, sorry, you can't see that. How many pounds are in an ounce? Remember, 16 ounces equals 1 pound. And pound has this LB for its abbreviation. It's kind of interesting, but keep in mind OZ is ounce, LB is pound. So 18 ounces looks like more than 16 ounces. So 18 ounces is greater than a pound. And then you've got 2 more to do on your own. Okay, good luck with that. And then if you have some extra time, here we are. Got some practice. So there is a scales page and an ounce, pound, ton page. So this, again, this is only if you have time, and there are 3 worksheets here. There are 6 scales with fruit on them, and you were telling me how many ounces, how many pounds. This one is comparing greater than, less than, or equal to the fruit to the weight. And then you're converting, so 1 pound is how many ounces? 5 pounds is how many ounces? You're gonna use your multiplication or repeated addition. Okay, and then you're also converting this as well. So this page is gonna be a little trickier. So this one is definitely an optional page. If you would like a challenge, this would be a page. But if this is still a little bit challenging for you, I would skip this particular page. So I'm gonna write challenge at the top because I think it's gonna be a little bit more difficult for some students. And then there's this page, which I think that most of you can do. This says a grape is 1 ounce or a ton. Oh, sorry. A grape, we think it's 1 ounce or 1 ton. A helicopter, 1 ton or 1 pound. A ball, 5 pounds or 5 ounces. And shoes, 2 pounds or 2 tons. That's just you're estimating which one do you think it is. Then you're going to, which standard unit is best to measure the weight of these objects? Put an X by the best one. So an elephant. Am I going to weigh an elephant in ounces or a piece of bread? Pounds, which is a loaf of bread, or tons, which is polar bear? I think an elephant, I'm going to weigh with tons. How about a person? Ounces, pounds, ton. Probably pounds. And you're going to go through the whole list and decide which one does it measure. So remember, an ounce is a piece of bread. So I'm going to draw my best piece of bread here. And then pounds is a loaf of bread. My bread in there. And then a ton, we're going to write bear. I'm not going to try to draw a bear right now. So good luck. Remember, these pages are optional, but they're also good practice if you have the time. Let me know if you have any questions. Hi, third graders. Normally on Monday and Friday, we would be doing handwriting, but we have our Lenten Journey reflection journals, and we have not used them a whole lot. We used them once at school, and then we ended up coming home and getting in a routine with e-learning. So we have 2 weeks of Lent left, and I think this would be a great opportunity to do some reflections at home. So instead of handwriting this week, we're going to be working out of this book. So this is in your green folder if you haven't found it already. But today's journal prompt, if we flip the page once, you wrote on this one already, describe everything you know about God. And you're going to flip the page one more time to this one right here. Write a letter to yourself from God, answering any questions you may have on your heart. So it's saying if you have any questions that you like to ask God, that you're wondering, then you're thinking about those questions, and then you write a letter from God back to you. What would God say to you in those questions? So you can do that and write it from God and answer any questions that you have. What would God say back to you? What would his answers be to the questions that you have? If that seems a little tricky, then you can go ahead and switch it around and write, Dear God, from yourself. So either one works. So you're going to write to yourself from God, or write to God from yourself. Okay? So I ask that you find a quiet place that you can sit by yourself in prayer. And maybe if you have the opportunity to play a little quiet music, that would be a wonderful thing to do to help you reflect. And you're going to sit quietly for a little bit and try to answer as God would. Hi, boys and girls, and welcome to reading this week. We are now on week 21. We will be reading the story Sarah, Plain and Tall. So I sent your parents an email this weekend with all the materials you need. So hopefully they were able to print off your checklist for you so that you can follow along each day this week. And then your packet was in your Journeys workbook. So it can stay in your workbook or they can pull it out and you can work on it outside of the book like we normally do in class, and then you're also going to need your book. So first step on our checklist, because it is Monday, as always, we're going to practice spelling. So let me show you what our spelling is like today. We have words with two different endings. We have ending with ed and an ending with ing. Those are going to be our two things that we're working on today. And something that I want you to keep in mind is when we have, I'm going to use two words here. We'll use hop and we'll use hope. Now, hopefully you can hear that difference in the vowel sound. Hop, ah, 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 has a short sound. It says ah, and hope has a long sound. It says its name. That O does. And anytime we have a short vowel, so A-E-I-O-U that says a, e, I, when we add an ending, we need to double that consonant and then add your ending. So then this one over here, hop, double it, ing. And then if you remember, if it's a long vowel, so anytime the vowel says its name and has this magic E guy on the end, we drop that E and we add the ending. So it looks like this. And I know you always say, well, I don't need to drop the E because I already have an E, but remember this comes as a set. They always go together. And then, so it says hope, turns into hoped. And now we've got hope, drop that E to add the ing. Looks like hoping. I am hoping to have a great day today. So that is what your spelling looks like today. You don't actually have to drop anything or add, but that is something to keep in mind when you are reading your words. So coming back to our checklist over here, we're going to start on page 92. So you are organizing your words with ed endings and ing. So if I look at this word right here, coming, swimming, notice that double consonant, dropping, another double consonant, tapping, taping. So I showed you guys this little reading trick here, or writing trick for spelling, because it helps when we're actually reading the words. So these two words look exactly the same except for one has a double P. So the one with the double consonant is a short vowel, so tapping, and it came from the word tap. Tap, 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 tap. The one that just has a single consonant, just a single P in there, came from the word tape, and we dropped the E to add ing. Invited, saving, stared, planned, changing, joking, loved, gripped, tasted, making, stopped, freezing, scared. So you are organizing by ed and ing. Then you have two more spelling pages like you usually do. So let me just walk through this one right here. So it says, write the basic word. Now that's what always tricks us up, is write the basic word. Please note that in your spelling words, look, there's basic words. Those are the main 14 words that follow the rule. Then there are review words, words you should already know, and then challenge words. These always follow the rule, but they are harder and more complex words. So when it says write the basic word, you are taking it from these first 14 words. So write the basic word that replaces the underlined word or words in each book title. So kidding and laughing. Which one of these words means you're kidding? Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm looking through, and I think joking and kidding are synonyms. They mean similar things. Please make sure you are spelling it correctly when you write it over there. Sometimes we misspell it, but it's right here. No excuses. Okay, that's your spelling job for today. Moving on to your vocabulary. It's always good to review your vocabulary before we read the story. So it says Journeys, page 202. So I'm going to flip to the Journeys book to page 202. And here's my vocabulary. So you are going to go through and just review it, making sure you are ready for the week, that you understand what these words mean. Prairie, slick, fetch, clattered, sniff, rough, thumped, batted, buzzing, rustle. Those sound like words that I could hear outside, like a fetch, a dog fetches. It's very slick. Maybe that has to do with weather. Sniffing, buzzing like a bee, rustle of leaves. So go ahead and read through those. And then let's preview the topic together so that we can do the journal right. So the next part is preview the topic, Pioneer Life on page 205. So let's read together. The pioneers were brave, independent people who left their homes in cities, villages, and farms in the East to move to the West. The Western lands were mostly unknown. There were no roads to guide new settlers and no towns to welcome them. The pioneers risked great danger to move to the West. Once they found a place to settle, they had to be self-sufficient. They lived far from towns and from other settlers. Their courage is a quality that Americans still celebrate today. In Sarah Plain and Tall, you'll read about the changes one of these pioneer families faces. So we're going to be reading this story together on Wednesday, Sarah Plain and Tall, about a pioneer. It's a historical fiction, which means it's a story that's set in the past. It's a fiction story, so it's not actually true, but it's historical, so it is based on events that were real. In your journal, you are going to think about how life would be different as a pioneer. How would you feel? What would you eat? What would you get from one, or how would you get from one place to the other? What would you do for fun? And you're going to write those in sentences in your journal. Bye. Hi guys, this is just a review from our Zoom class today at 10. Go ahead and put your name on your packet. And we are going to be predicting the weather. That is the most important thing that we are doing this week. So if we look at this chart, there's a predictions part and there's an observation. So I need to fill in the prediction side. That's the most important thing. I'm not worried about the observation side right now. Okay, so day one, day of the week would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And you are going to say yes or no. Is there precipitation, or is there going to be like rain or snow or hail or any sort of moisture or water that comes out of the sky? So you're going to write yes or no. Then you're going to tell me what kind. So is it rain? Is it snow? And then amount. Are you going to see 1 inch? Is it going to rain for 5 minutes? Is it going to rain all day? How much? Okay. You're going to ignore the observations. Just predict. What do you think this week is going to look like in terms of water coming out of the sky? Then we flip the page. Now this is predicting the weather. So in this chart here, what does the weather look like? What is the temperature? Is it 20 degrees? Is it 50 degrees? Is it 80 degrees? What is the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit? And then what is the weather? You're going to write, is it sunny, rainy, cloudy, windy? So a number and a word. And then you're going to go, why did you predict that temperature and weather for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? That is it. We do not need to worry about this part right now. You're just going to predict, and that is it.